everybody. Okay, this is my daily coverage of the Carrie trial. This is day 8, so it's a Thursday, so that means half a day. Um, which I think is really funny because the judge just admonished the lawyers for taking too much time, and yet they're still doing half days. But I'm going to tell you what happened to the best of my knowledge. Okay? There were only 2 witnesses on the stand today because it was a half day, and they were both named. The last name is Albert. Now, Albert is important because, if you remember, Caitlin Albert is the friend of Katie McLaughlin, the firefighter paramedic. Okay, so of course they're in the Albert family, and there are 3 brothers: Chris, Colin, and Tim. Okay, so today they had on the stand Chris, and I think his wife Lisa, uh, Lisa or Lori or some L Albert. Okay, um, all right. I'm gonna make some observations, and you probably heard them somewhere else. So I'm not claiming that they're new. They're just my observations. Okay. And this isn't just because of these witnesses. I've seen it a couple times. Um, there is some major distancing going on in this trial. And to be honest, I don't know why. Because, okay, I try to deal in logic. Um, and this trial has not been logical at all. I mean, there's been maybe slightly logic, but it's been covered by piles of BS. Um, because, yeah. Um, okay, I'll give you an example. Well, I already gave you the example of Katie McLaughlin and Caitlin Albert. But here, okay, and then so here's another example, and I'll use the victim in it slightly. All right, because let's see. Well, John O'Keefe was a police officer. We all know that. What we might not know is that apparently John O'Keefe is very orderly, and this comes into pass because he doesn't like anybody to mess with or make dirty his lawn or his car or anything like that. So, all right. Well, Chris Albert was trying to say how close they were, and but then at the same time he tried to distance himself, and he got very, very argumentative when the um, defense tried to say, well, don't you know Colin Albert too? As soon as that name was brought up, his whole demeanor changed. And I don't know why, because they're related, but there must be something going on there because your attitude and your whole demeanor doesn't change like that unless there's something I don't know that may be completely innocent or you're trying to hide something. Um, and it doesn't make sense because he's trying to say that they're best of friends, but yet they call him something like a grouch, but not a grouch. In his phone contacts, they have him listed as not his name. And he supposedly showed it to John, and he laughed about it. Now, I don't know about you, but when someone criticizes me, I'm going to go personal on it for a second. When someone criticizes me deeply, my first reaction is not laughter. Usually not, because it's why would you say that? Not that I get extremely defensive, but I just don't laugh. So I don't know. And then the wife Lisa, she didn't say anything really of value either. Just that yeah, we were really close and the kids were really close and yada 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 yada. Nothing really helpful. So I don't know. So once again uh we got more civilians on the stand, but I don't feel like the needle of the case is moving. So I am still sitting here slightly confused because they've had on 18, maybe 20 witnesses at this point, and you haven't proven anything that I didn't already know, and you haven't affected my opinion um, because of some jaw dropping piece of evidence that I'm not aware of. So I don't know how successful you are, actually. I'd say if I had to do a scale or a percentage, I'd say the defense is doing like 80%, 70, 80% good, and the state is like tanking because yeah, just not good. I mean, not to say that the defense attorney is all great. It's not. But on a scale, the defendant is winning in my case, in my head, because they've just been able to poke so many holes in the state's case already, and we're only day 8. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Okay. Bye, everybody.